Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It's Thursday, September 22nd. We are coming up to the end of the month. The fall season is upon us. It's crisp outside. The leaves are falling. It's definitely my favorite time of the year. Not
pumpkin
just
spice season,
and not just for the pumpkin spice stuff that I've never tried before, but
we're gonna fix that in October. But that's okay.
I intend to.
Yes.
Not just my favorite season for the colors and the hoodies and the wind and the leaves, but also this is about the time where we start getting just that fall winter dump of fucking games.
Yeah.
So
almost too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about too much? So,
but you do also get to put the leaves in your leaf hole.
So
crunch, crunch, munch.
What,
Derek? What's your leaf hole?
Yeah, Derek. What? Tell me about the leaf hole. Next, you know what? Derek, I don't want. Oh, this went off the rails a lot faster than I thought it would. So
it wasn't even for me.
I know, right? For once. Don't worry, Britt. I'm sure you'll manage to do it at some point before we end tonight. But speaking of things, Britt mentioned that there's a lot of games coming out. As Square Enix content creators, we literally have been like trying to figure out how the fuck we're gonna have time to review all the Square games coming out in the next 3 months.
Be fucking brutal.
It's fucking nuts. So tonight is going to be one of those nights where a good portion, not the entire podcast, but a good portion of the podcast, we're going to be talking about what we're playing. And I would like to, if you guys don't mind, kick things off with a game that I've been playing and a game that I am happy about that's coming out later. Okay. The game I've been playing is last night. Thank you to the publisher. We got a code for Scorn.
Yeah, that's right.
I streamed that last night. Derek's been playing it as well. Now
I think it's like the first hour and a half of the game basically is what it seemed like.
I love horror games. I love body horror. This is a gooey fucking game. This game is very goopy and drippy.
It's very sticky
and gooey and slurpy. And I'll tell you what, it is exactly what I was hoping. It's from a visual standpoint exactly what I was hoping it would be, but it is far more puzzle based than I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting a horror like. When you think of a horror game, you think of something that you have to avoid enemies or deal with limited resources, and This is I was joking on Twitter. This is Meat Mist. This is Mist or Riven.
No,
but
which is interesting because like initially they were saying it was more of an FPS. Like,
I'm sure it will get
because they were saying it wasn't really more.
It kind of did.
Okay.
So last night after Derek left the stream, I found a gun. And at that point there were some enemies to kill.
It's just a punchy.
Well, but there's 4 weapon slots. So I'm assuming you're going to get more stuff. And the most interesting aspect of this game was Derek and I's differing scenarios with Gary.
My boy Gary.
Poor Gary. Full disclosure, that's not his name. We don't know,
yes,
but it's his name now. Like they don't call him Gary, but he's Gary. Gary is a misshapen, malformed. I think
thing in an egg pod.
He used to be human, it looks like. But it looks like somebody kind of like gooshed him up a little bit and stuck him in an egg. And he's with the horror.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's just my Saturday night.
Sounds like Tuesday for you.
Mondays, am I right?
How many days are we not getting gooshed up and stuck inside eggs?
But like one of the worst things about Gary was the sounds he was making, because Gary has no mouth. Gary has no mouth, but he must scream. And Gary, the entire time you're interacting with him, whether you're pushing him around on that little shopping cart made out of skin and penises, or whether or not he's shambling after you, the whole time he's just and it is just.
If the shopping cart's made out of penises, it probably would go without saying it's made out of skin.
Does it give Lisa Trevor vibes?
This is grosser than Lisa
Gary's
Trevor.
sad.
Gary is very sad.
Lisa Trevor's sad.
Yeah, but Lisa Trevor's scary until you find out she's sad.
She's trying to kill you.
And Gary's not scary.
You. Like, I was literally telling Gary, like, come here, Gary. Come on, let's go. Come on, Gary.
Let's go outside.
He's just following me around.
Come get a treat, Gary. How do you eat?
So there's a puzzle that you need two people to open, right? Like, it's a door that you need two people to open. I freed Gary from his egg cocoon. He shambled after me, and I attached an unlocking device to his wrist, and he helped me unlock the door, and then I unceremoniously left him in the device, right? Which, to be honest, in this hellscape you're in is probably better for Gary. Derek had a much different scenario with
See, I was worried because you took him to the buzzsaw room, and I was like, this is going to be horrible. And all the buzzsaw did was open up the pod. But I took him to the scooping room, and I thought it would scoop him out of the pod. And instead, the scooper ripped him to pieces, and I had to take his severed arm and use that.
I can just see Justin mentally processing you saying the scooping room.
The scooping room. Yeah. We're familiar with Five Nights at Freddy's. It's fine.
The scooping room bothers me more than anything else that you're describing. Everything else, yeah, that's fine. That checks out.
All I thought about was ice cream. I was like, that sounds like a pleasant room.
That's where you get scooped. It's where you go to get scooped.
I wouldn't use that to scoop ice cream. It looks slimy.
In the scoop, Derek, you just used his severed arm to open the door.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this game?
It's pretty gross.
Brittany, I don't fucking know what this game is, okay?
It's H.R. Giger inspired horror mist.
And when I say
some FPS elements later on.
And when Derek says H.R. Giger inspired, like, I'm talking like there's penises fucking everywhere. Like, the phallic imagery in this game is extremely powerful.
This is an Xbox only game, right?
No, it's PC too.
But I don't think it's out on PC yet.
It's not out on anything until October.
It's not on anything yet. It doesn't come out till October.
Oh, Derek, you got it too?
Yeah, we got Finn got a code for us, and then John also got a code. So we had two codes. So
yeah. After Finn gave us the code, we got a DM from the publisher like, hey, here's a code. And I'm like, okay. Cool. I'll give that to Derek and he can play that. It is, I'll tell you what though, if you like first person horror games with like guns and action, like, I'm going to warn you, this is not what that is. Very much so.
This is not action Resident Evil. This is
it wasn't even all that scary, to be perfectly honest with you. It
maybe
was
not early on, but
maybe not early on, but like it was more like gross and horrifying.
It's just like gross, unsettling vibes.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Think like Crimes of the Future, right, Justin? Like, that wasn't particularly
I was gonna
scary
say very Cronenberg.
Yeah,
like,
but it's just gross. Like, it's just very gross. And the game that I'm excited about, wanted to talk about very quickly, was Suikoden 1 and 2 remastered, which was announced by Konami. Konami's making games. They're sort of making games, and this is very fucking exciting. Because what's that?
When is that coming out?
Not till next year. They didn't actually say when.
I thought this is what. I thought we were doing
really
what we've been
stretching
playing,
what
and I was
we've been
really
playing,
confused
John.
for a second when you brought this up.
We are. No, I just wanted to mention.
He said he was going to talk about something he was excited for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just.
Jeez, Justin.
I didn't know it was out.
You, John.
You were playing
Thank
it.
You, Britt.
So.
But yeah, Suikoden 1 and 2 remastered, both timeless classics, especially Suikoden 2. And I am so happy that these are getting a second chance at life, that like a much wider audience is able to play these. Because right now, unless you have a ROM, a copy of Suikoden 2 on PlayStation goes for about $500. It had a very limited run. It didn't sell a lot of copies, and there's not a lot of physical copies out there. So the fact that this is going to be made available,
I have one right behind me.
You have a copy of Suikoden 2?
Mm-hmm.
It's worth a fucking lot, Britt.
Oh, I know.
It's worth a lot.
He brags about it's not mine, it's Zach's, but it's something he used to brag about all the time.
I mean, I've got a physical copy of Valkyrie Profile on PlayStation. That's worth about $500. So
that's another one.
But yeah, and one of the coolest things about this is I think the HD backgrounds look good. But you can actually turn them off and use a crisper version of the original PlayStation 1.
You think the HD that's surprising?
Well, no, you're
usually an RPG.
I think the old backgrounds
what do you
haven't
think
aged
about the
super
font,
well,
John.
Let me tell you about the font. Let me tell you a
Jeff's
little bit about
out.
but
I think the old backgrounds in Suikoden 1 and 2 have not aged as well. And like I think the remaster looks good. It's kind of almost like HD 2D. Like
yeah, a little
not
bit.
exactly,
I'm so
but it's
happy
clear
they
that was an
didn't smear up the
inspiration.
character pixels, Derek. Like let's get that out of the way. They didn't like those.
It's
character
pretty
pixels
clear
are nice
like
and
Octopath
chunky.
was a huge inspiration for the visual style.
I could not be happier. Buy this fucking game so we can get another Suikoden game, like a new one, please. But yeah, that's really wanted. Derek, I'm assuming you'll talk about Diofield. So
yeah. Well, we'll probably both talk about that. Let's get that out of the way so that we can get to the review code provided what people have been playing.
Yeah, go for it.
And this will just take a moment. We actually we posted today the review. So if people want more information, they can listen to the review. But John and I both got review codes from Square Enix for the Diofield Chronicle, which is their new like real-time strategy RPG. It's kind of RTS vibes mixed with there's clearly a lot of like Fire Emblem inspiration in a lot of ways. Down to like one of the unit classes is Wyvern Riders, so like okay, I know what you've been playing a lot
it draws very heavily from that stuff.
Yeah. But it was an interesting time, and I didn't think I was going to be as into it as I was, but it was cool. It had some really memorable kind of map designs and some really good mission design for a game of that genre. I thought it was interesting to think about how the game got made, given that I think it was kind of a cheap project, but still came out feeling like a pretty cohesive, for the most part, title.
It was definitely a budget game, like as far as development goes.
But like it had a good cast with some memorable characters, and I'm never gonna forget my girl Rickles.
Rickles is the
Rickles knows
best.
what's up. Anyway, yeah.
Where are you in, Derek?
Huh?
How far are you in?
I'm about halfway through chapter 6. John beat the game, so I'm getting close to the end.
How
and John
long
beat
is
it.
the game?
It's like maybe
probably about
a little,
40 hours.
Yeah,
total.
depending on what you're doing, like maybe a little less depending.
It depends
on
on obviously how much the side content you do. I imagine if somebody played on casual difficulty, they would need to grind a lot less. They would not need to play as much of the side content. You probably get through it quicker.
I also want to point out, and I did in our review, that I played through the entirety of the demo, which is like 4 hours of the game. And it transfers all your progress over.
I got through that amount of content in like 2 hours. So I do think that the amount of time is pretty variable.
I think so too.
But expect 30 to 40 hours.
Right.
It's not massive, but it's a JRPG. But I enjoyed it. People should try the demo and see if they like it. And if they like it, maybe get it. Maybe. I don't know. There's
How
a
does
lot
it
coming
compare
out.
to Tactics?
It's a pretty different game.
I think that's the biggest like comparison right now, right?
It's nowhere. It's not. It's nowhere near Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Tactics.
I would not compare it to Final Fantasy Tactics. I only even compare it to Fire Emblem because it's clear that a lot of like setting inspiration comes from Fire Emblem. But hello, I see a Wild Grant in the chat.
That's my boyfriend.
Yeah,
hey, Grant.
But like I said, I enjoy it. I think that it's like real time, right? So it doesn't have a lot of the micromanagement of something like StarCraft or Age of Empires. It's closer to like a MOBA or something like Dawn of War 2. It's slow enough paced that I think that it's not like overwhelming to try and make decisions in. John played on console, I played on PC, so but John said it wasn't too hard to control.
No,
so.
I mean it was definitely made with I mean I can definitely say how this would be easier with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But like overall, like I just my 2 cents on the game. I won't get into the review and all that stuff, but it's pretty good. It's got
we have a 20-something minute review, so listen to that. But the ending was interesting.
The ending is bad.
Yeah,
the ending is real bad.
We joked like a lot of JRPGs have really bad endings, though. So
this has an especially bad ending. I told Derek what the ending was. He goes, "Oh,
yeah."
And other people had told him what hey, the ending's not great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to answer your question, Britt, 10 years from now, nobody will be talking about this game. They will still be talking about Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah. But I'm going to remember this game fondly enough.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah. So that's enough of us bullshitting around. Justin, what you been playing, man?
Oh, so I haven't been here for what we've been playing in a while. So I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff.
Load me up, buddy.
I've actually gotten to play a lot of really, really cool things lately. I'm going to start with Disco Elysium.
Yes!
I played through that. Holy crap, that game's great. The writing is phenomenal, and like that game is probably the most like a video game has ever felt like playing like a pen and paper RPG. It's just a really like smart, clever adult game in a lot of different ways. It really struck a chord with me, and it happened like, you know, I didn't know much about it going in, and it turns out I happened to build my character a certain way and like, you know, got the right dice rolls on certain things that like ended up coming in towards the ending in ways that I really, really deeply loved. And like, oh, it was just a really cool game. Yeah, it's a really neat experience. I don't want to say too much about it because I think part of the fun is what happens to you over the course of playing it. Because there are just so many different ways to go about.
It is easily one of the funniest fucking games ever made.
Oh, it's hilarious. And the thing is, like, it's simultaneously hilarious and like deeply depressing. And it's just
all funny people are fucking dead inside.
Like, it's
millennial humor.
It's just a really like smart, brilliant game. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure, like, at the beginning, I wasn't sure how much I was going to be into it. It's like, at the beginning, there's a lot of just, like, dumping text at you, and you can't really do anything on the first, like, couple in-game days. But once it got going, it was really, really cool.
Is there any disco music in the game?
A little bit.
Why do they call it Disco Elysium?
It's a hard thing to explain.
There's no easy or short way to explain that.
Yeah, it's just you have dialogue options that let you say just disco.
Sean, why don't you stream Disco
that's one
Elysium
of them eventually? But
okay.
Yeah, so I played through Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium. That game was great. I played a good portion of Inscription, which finally came out on consoles.
You have been good choices, man.
So I enjoyed what I played so far of it. I unfortunately.
How far in do you think you are?
I think I'm pretty far. There was a pretty significant change up that happened.
Okay, so you're not as far as you think you are, if that's what you're saying. Fucking Inscription, man.
Which actually might be a good thing, because I'm not sure how much I like it now that things have changed up a bit. But so for those of you that don't, I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for people. Like, this is one of those games that just is really well served by going in not knowing much about it. But essentially, it's a horror-themed, card-based roguelike with like escape room elements.
That sounds so cool, but so weird.
Have you not played Inscription?
I have not played Inscription.
John, you would like
Once
Inscription.
fucking again.
John, you would like Inscription.
You would lose it at Inscription.
See, I'm playing it on PS5, and they actually make really cool use of like the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback and stuff for some of it. So that's really cool. But yeah, now that it's out on console, I was playing that. I'm not done with it. But it's a really neat game, and like, it's really smartly paced. Where like right when you think you're starting to get bored of some of the roguelike stuff, they throw curveballs at you, and like the escape room stuff is weirdly compelling. It's just a really cool game. And you know, I didn't even know it was a roguelike going in. And like, card games aren't always my thing.
Is it scary? Like, is it actually?
No, it's more like
creepy.
Halloween spooky kind of thing.
It's creepy. Yeah.
It's got a really good aesthetic.
Would you even
and vibe
call
to
it? It's kind of a roguelike, but it's kind of not.
It's
because you make permanent progress forward it's a linear story basically.
Yeah,
but you have to play a roguelike in order to progress.
I don't want to go too deep into how it get, but it's a cool game. So I definitely I haven't finished that, so I want to play some more of it. See where it goes, because it is a very fascinating game.
Lose it. This fucking game.
Let's see. So those are some of the smaller indie things I played, but I also played through Last of Us Part 1, which is I had my
It's
microscope
The Last
out
of
because-
Us.
Yeah, it is. Basically, I mean, that's it. I had my microscope out. I could go really in depth into some changes and stuff, but it's a shiny new version of a game I love a lot, and so that was fun to play through.
No, it does look no, Britt, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No.
Because I have a question, so go ahead.
Sure. I was just gonna ask.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. Shut the fuck up. I was just gonna say like it does look like meaningfully better than the original game, right, Justin? Like,
oh my god, yeah. So like this game is one that I think was kind of like even the screenshots I took, and the pre-release stuff does not look nearly as good as it does on screen. Like the game looks exceptional. It runs extraordinarily well. The animations are completely
and it looks really fucking good.
The animations are completely redone. Like I could go in deep to a lot of the changes because this was my 10th playthrough of the game.
A lot of playthroughs.
But
it's a good ass game.
It's one of those things that's kind of like a really nice like 4K restoration of like an old movie or something. That's kind of what I consider. Like, it's definitely something that is amazing for new fans. Like, if you haven't played it, or when it comes to PC in the future, that's going to be awesome because that's probably got a lot more people. That'll be
a lot of people's first time really interfacing with The Last of Us. That'll be
because like I imagine
the cycle will begin anew.
Of people that own PS5s at this point, probably a lot of them have played this game.
Wait till people are modding Hatsune Miku into The Last of Us. Like,
but like I'm excited
to see clickers nonetheless.
I'm excited for people to see. I'm excited to see people's reactions once it hits PC, and it's a really really nice update of the game.
So I was gonna ask. So I played Last of Us for the first time like end of 2019, beginning of 2020 when the pandemic hit. So the game hit me really differently, I think, than people when it initially came out, just because you are dealing with, essentially a breakout. So I want to ask, did living through COVID, did it like change the way you like felt about the game, or like could you relate to it more? Or
so, I mean, not so much, but like also like part 2 is like a big part of the pandemic for me.
Right.
So like like I've talked about it before, but like my grandmother passed away while I was playing part 2. She was somebody I was extraordinarily close with, so a lot of this stuff about like loss and family and stuff like that, like that's just permanently linked with that game for me now, and in a way that I can't really detangle from it. Right. And it's kind of interesting because like even for somebody like me who knows this first game really well, there's a couple like incidental lines that are just kind of like throwaways that end up being very relevant to part 2.
I haven't played part 2 yet. Like at this point I'm waiting. Like, do you think they're gonna do the same thing with part 2?
Probably.
Should I wait?
I think so, because it's like one of Sony's only games from the PS4 era that's not on PlayStation Plus Extra, and doesn't like. I mean, if you play it on PS5, there is a 60 FPS update, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they do that and then do some kind of bundle. There's also the multiplayer game and stuff coming. I mean, they're going to be pushing this hard in the wake of, the HBO series and stuff. So, but I mean, it was good to revisit the game for me. I think right now, unless this release is kind of only for people that are huge fans of The Last of Us or have never played it before. But I am excited to see people's reactions when it comes out on PC and like more people are playing it for the first time. Let's see. I ran King's Fall in Destiny 2. I finally got to raid for the first time in years because I had a work schedule that for some reason nobody wanted to start a raid at midnight. So I finally got to do that again. Past couple weekends, actually I've been playing a lot with CJ, the Modern Warfare 2 beta. I
totally fucking forgot that was a thing.
Seriously, we are both regressing to like just pure like neuron activation monkeys playing that game. Like we don't have anything proper critical or anything to say. It's just like our brains are off. Like people are yelling at us and we think it's funny. Like it's
so it sounds like the Call of Duty that I remember from like
God, yeah.
So good to avoid. Good to know.
Yeah. So it's exactly what, like, if you have any preconceived notions about what that game is, that's exactly what that
correct.
game is. In any direction, but like, I haven't had just like a chill multiplayer game in a while. Like that's kind of the thing, and that's kind of the reason like Call of Duty has been so important the past few years, is because everything else is like real serious business multiplayer stuff. Like, have to get a party together. There's not really much casual like multiplayer stuff anymore. So I've been dabbling in that. I've been playing a lot of it, but it's been nice to play it with CJ and stuff. So yeah, so I've been playing a lot of stuff, big and small, and all really fun in a lot of different ways. So I kind of had a gap where I wasn't playing much for a while there, so it was good to kind of get back into some cool stuff.
We're about to be overstuffed.
No kidding. What?
I was waiting for Britt to continue with like some kind of horrible sex joke after that, but it just didn't happen. It didn't happen.
No, y'all put
Games
this on me.
Business.
She's gonna keep us on our fucking toes. Britt, what have you been playing?
That's my job tonight.
I've been playing a few things. So why am I spacing? Oh, I've been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is basically, for those who don't know, it is like Animal Crossing but with Disney characters. And I downloaded it just to kind of like give it a try, because Animal Crossing has always been like my bread and butter when it comes to farming simulators, right? That's the right term for it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to call it.
So
yeah.
So who's the developer behind this?
I don't even know.
We actually made this. Like I have seen people talking about this Disney game. I have no fucking idea what this is.
Okay, so it's really funny because Gameloft, and it's under Unity, and it's made by Gameloft.
Oh, Gameloft. Okay, all right.
Oh,
okay.
It's Gameloft. Sorry, Gameloft is a name I've not heard for a while.
I have. Yeah,
They do not have the best of reputations.
So it was. I think it was during a direct back in May or something. Nintendo announced this game, and I was like, why is nobody fucking talking about this game? It looks like that's the most excited thing I heard got released. And then it released, and I didn't download it for a few days because I was like, I don't know if this is something I want to get into. I want to see like how people are liking it. I don't want to be disappointed. And I started playing it, and when I tell you, the moment I picked up that game, I could not fucking put it down. Like, it was on Animal Crossing New Horizons level of just addictive. It was just like the moment you got absorbed into that world, it was just like it hit you with so much to do. Upgrading your house, upgrading the shop. What I really love about this game, and I compare it to Animal Crossing because it's really like the only comparison I have, and I think it's a lot that people can relate to because a lot of people have played Animal Crossing. And it does so many things better than Animal Crossing that it's ridiculous. Absolutely. Instead of just like having people you can live with and like just giving them like, random items a day or whatever, like they have quests and you level them up. So you start at level 1, and then your friendship levels grow up to level 10. And then based on what level you are with them, you get certain items. Like you get room items, you get clothing items, you get like, in the game, you can customize your own t-shirts, so you get like decals. It's really intuitive and involved. You get to pick classes that the characters have. Like, for instance, I made Moana a fisher. I made Goofy a miner. And basically you ask them to come hang out with you, and when you go fishing or mining, they give you extra stuff when you gather it up. So it's a lot more like, it makes you feel like you're not just somebody living on the island just like, doing your own thing. Like, you actually get to like hang out with people and interact with them. What's up?
Nothing. I just got this mental picture in my head now of Goofy like swinging a pickaxe, going like with every fucking.
No,
like,
if you want to hear something funny, listen to Goofy fish. Like, it is the most unsettling thing in the game.
The doctors say I have black lungs.
He groans and moans. So it is not online. It is not multiplayer.
I caught a crappie.
Which I was worried about at first, but honestly, there's so much to do that I couldn't even imagine trying to play this game with another person. Also, one really cool thing is that you get to like go to certain worlds and unlock certain characters. So the first three characters you get are Wally, Remy from Ratatouille, yeah, and then who's the other one? Somebody. Oh, Moana and Maui. Yeah, Wally's in it.
I mean, he's a Disney character.
Yeah.
He seems like a weird choice for a farming game. That's all.
No, he's so freaking cute.
But he's also a robot. He'd be super efficient, right, Brett?
I mean, I love Wally.
Yeah, he's very, very cute. And you get to, so when you get Remy, for instance, all the stuff that you grow and that you pick from like bushes and berries and stuff, you can make recipes, and there's like over 200 recipes that you can make. And it's like, it's a really in-depth game that I wasn't expecting, and they're not even done with it. Like, you have to unlock certain things, like certain areas of the map. It's not all the way open to you. And when you do, like, that furthers along your main story, but they're not completely done with the main story yet. They're adding, like, you know, because it's not officially released right now. So they're
like
adding
early access right now.
Yeah,
right?
so they're adding story as you go. I think the next person you unlock is going to be Scar. And it's a really fun, addicting game. Like, if you like Animal Crossing, you will love this game. If you love Disney and Animal Crossing, you will 100% love this game.
Will this game help me fulfill my dreams of living in a virtual world as a Disney princess?
Maybe, but the game will let you have
okay, so this is something I really like. I had in mind when I was playing it. It is really kind of depressing.
Wait, I was not expecting. What, did somebody die?
No, there's an actual
probably
story
your mom, given it's Disney.
Well,
but
there's an actual there's an actual story. So basically, you come to this world, Dreamlight Valley, and it's basically you find like everybody used to live together and be happy and everything, and then basically once you left, so basically when you were a kid, everything was fine and great, and then once you left, everybody got separated, everybody forgot everything. So your job is you're coming back and you're making everybody remember like who they are, their relationships, and like there's like this person called like I don't even remember. But basically you find little journal notes, and it's basically just really depressing. It's like, you know, I'm so alone, I'm so lonely, and it's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
It's really
Holy crap. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's just, I did not expect that from this game.
No, it's really like, it's essentially like you as the character are like coming back to your childhood and rebuilding it. That's essentially the plot of the game. Like, and it's really just, y'all don't understand when I tell you that it has like in-depth story. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's not just like, yeah, like it's not just a game you hop into and you do fun things. Like, there's a story, you know, you unlock memories, and just like it's really it's just really fun. Anyway, so I've talked about it way too much. I love it. I'm currently done pretty much all I can right now, so I'm waiting for the next update. But I've also been playing Splatoon 3.
Such a good fucking game.
Have you been playing it?
Oh yeah, I'm at level 10.
Okay, cool. We should play together sometime.
I'm all about it.
I don't actually know if this is accurate, but I want to say, speaking of games about people with dump trucks, but I don't think that works. So that's only true of Disney.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, the Splatoon kids are
the
kids.
big man has a dump truck. Anyway,
but
we love the big man.
I was gifted Splatoon 3. So it's my first Splatoon game, and I am.
Oh, you're in for a treat. This game is so fucking great.
Well, I'm like level 9, I think, so I'm not too far behind you. But it's been fun. It's, you know, you want to talk about just having like a shooter that's not too serious. or that shouldn't be too serious, but I tell you, I get fucking squids teabagging the shit out of me when they kill me.
No, people are intense about Splatoon.
Yeah, they really
people are super intense about Splatoon.
They are.
Reb was on Twitter talking about how it's the only game that's ever made her this tilted. I was like,
it's generally a very wholesome community.
Right.
Like extremely.
Yeah, but those fuckers are unhinged.
Well, like look
too.
at the Animal Crossing community, right? Like
there's also a lot of
fucking
children.
awful. Right. So
Children
and that's
can
the
be
thing is like you
unhinged.
don't know if you're playing children or adults, and you're like, I don't know who you fucking are, Mister. Like we went into a lobby earlier, and this guy's name was Tree, and I was like, I don't know what it is about this guy, but I'm gonna fucking kill Tree. Like Tree is my target, and they were like, what do you have against Tree? And I was like, nothing. But if you're gonna play a video, like, why would you name yourself Tree? Like, so I've been playing Splatoon, and I also downloaded and started playing a game called Inside the Backrooms, which John I sent you a
this
video,
game's really cool.
which I sent you a video about yesterday.
Oh, that's what that video. Right. Yeah.
So I played a little bit of that, and it's really creepy, and it's also really fun and just kind of hilarious.
I'll play that shit with you.
It's $5. Like it's just fun, and silly,
Backrooms.
and just.
Have you seen the original shorts that it's based off of?
And I heard it's based off of creepypasta.
It's based off of a short horror film.
Yeah. So this like 16-year-old kid was like made them for like effects work. It's like this, like kind of like Control-E / like SCP kind of stuff about like.
See, that doesn't mean fucking shit to me. So
it's like it's creepy creatures and weird stuff in like an office setting kind of
creepy.
thing.
It's creepy. So basically, it's like the back rooms, but and like it's just endless, and you have puzzles that you have to figure out, and you have to like run and hide, and it's just it's really fun, and I'm surprised by it, and it takes a lot of brain power and just.
I was just looking at pictures of it. This does look cool.
Yeah, it's just a fun little horror game. I think it's and every time you spawn into it, it's different. It's not the same. So it's like the same game, but all the clues are different and everything like that. So I started playing that, and I started playing the new season of Fortnite. Which, I mean, Fortnite's Fortnite. I don't have a lot to talk about that. And still doing some 14. But because my hard drive got wiped, I have to redo all my buttons. And I don't feel like doing that. So I've just been kind of getting on and doing my retainers and then logging off because I don't want to reset up all my buttons.
It's so funny to me that like the most common thing I hear that like actually gets people to stop playing FF14 is just for some reason they have to like redo their HUD or buttons or something.
Daunting.
Like
because it's muscle memory. You don't remember what the fuck is on your bar. Like
I do, but I'm weird.
That's the thing that gets people off. They're like, oh, I got to redo this.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as you might think. Like I've got it on my on PS5 and my Steam Deck, and I basically just set it up identical. Although I
have a reference, you can go to your PC and be like, okay, I have my button here and here. Like I don't have shit. I have to just like go by what feels good. So this is also my conundrum, and I want to ask your guys' opinion on it. I have very small hands, so it's very hard for me to do MMOs anymore or any kind of games that take a lot of like stretching. So I'm debating between switching to controller just to kind of ease on, because I have my pink PS5 controller that I can use. But I don't know, like I'm scared to make the change, and I don't know if I want to. But what do you guys think? Playing
Final Fantasy 14 on a controller is stupid fucking easy.
Is it?
It's stupid easy.
Do you play on a controller?
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, I played once with a mouse and keyboard when I downloaded on PC to put on Steam Deck just to see, and I was like, oh god, no. And I went back to controller. I mean, it's literally. It's just you hold down L2. Like, let's say I want to use, like, you hold down R2 and you just hit up, down, left, or right, or, you know, triangle, square, one of the buttons, and it does and that's it. Like, it's tactile. It feels good, especially with the PS5 version, it has the haptic feedback. So it's just like, yes, absolutely play it with a controller. I can.
I heard like it's like there's a lot of jobs that are like geared towards controller. Like Red Mage is one.
Machinist is another one, which is of course is my main job. So
the thing that I'm having issue with, right? Okay, so you have buttons here that you have to push, right? And you move with this. What happens if you're pressing one of these buttons and you have to move? Do you just immediately go back down and move?
yeah,
Or like
honestly, it's you'll get into a flow with that within 5 minutes, and it just becomes like second nature. You flip up, you hit essentially like you're holding your PS5 controller and you're moving around and you just hold this down. And I even just like if I need to like hit the directional up button, I just move my index finger down and do it. Like, I mean, it's super fucking easy, and it feels fucking great. It feels fucking awesome.
So yes, I've been playing 9 years mouse and keyboard, and now that it's like, okay, now my buttons are all fucked up. Should I just make the leap into controller and just do it, or it's a lot. But yep, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
So, Britt, you got anything else you wanted to bring in before we move into Grand Theft Auto?
I got a game.
I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto.
I got a game.
Oh, Derek's got a game.
Yes, I got a game. I got a game to talk about. So, and much of the chat can take a fucking guess from how I titled the stream overlay, but
I didn't even see that. Of course, you got
Gundam Evolution, which is the free-to-play Gundam, not Overwatch. It's definitely not Overwatch, y'all. Came out last night, and I got to play around this morning before I had to start getting ready for work, and then 2 rounds after work, and I'm super into it. It's
a lot of people are. I've been here. It's like great.
It's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of people who are into it who are not Gundam folks, which is cool to see, because I think a lot of Gundam games, weirdly and very consistently, are very good games, even for people who are not into Gundam. Like, I think that the Gundam spin-offs of the Dynasty Warriors games are probably the best playing. That SD Gundam Battle Alliance game that just came out is a really decent, like, on its own kind of action RPG. This is a really good free-to-play hero shooter. I don't know that I necessarily like it more than Overwatch, but it's a little different. Everybody's played Overwatch at this point. Gundam Evolution is, don't say unfortunately, I like Overwatch. Gundam Evolution's a little bit slower paced. Ults build up way slower and are nowhere near as powerful. So they're less of, like, you have less of people like building up and stacking ults to just wipe the enemy team. Most characters' kits are a little smaller. Like, they have fewer tools available to them, and they're less specialized. Like, they may have a cool quirk to them, but you don't have like dedicated like healers, tanks, DPS type roles. Everybody just is what they are, and you've got several characters who may have healing abilities, you know, some characters that are built to take more punishment, but you know, nobody's really in specialized roles. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think a lot of lapsed Overwatch fans should probably give Gundam Evolution a try. It's very approachable to those who are not Gundam people. Now, the real question is how much this holds up when Overwatch 2 launches. Because I know, like, we're all going to laugh and, like, Overwatch 2 is a mess and nobody cares. But here's the thing. Overwatch 2 is going to launch, and it's going to do good. Like, y'all know that,
there's
right?
A lot of people that are really excited
Overwatch 2 is going to come out.
It's going to do fine. I don't think it's going to like
come out. It's not going to do Overwatch 1 taking over the world, but it's going to come out, and it's going to be one of the biggest online multiplayer games people play. And a lot of people are just going to shut the fuck up and play it, or stop making fun of it, or make fun of it despite the fact that it's doing well. I say this as somebody who is disheartened by some of the trajectory that Overwatch 2 seems to be on. But
I don't know. I just, it comes out in a few weeks and I hear no hype about it whatsoever.
Well, I mean,
they just did release a new character for it.
It's also not.
I'm not hearing hype about.
Here's the thing, right? As people who are very online, Twitter's
don't
like
ever fucking call me that.
Twitter's like 6% of the population, y'all. Like, so I know that Twitter is very obsessed with, and like extremely online space is very obsessed with like poking at Blizzard and poking at Overwatch. But like all of these years where people have said Overwatch is dead or dying, Overwatch has still been an extremely active game.
Well, it's gonna be dead in about a month.
Yeah, it's gonna be dead when they shut down the servers.
That's fucking.
But but Overwatch 2 is gonna launch, and it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be different. A lot of us are gonna have problems with it, but it's gonna do well, and they're gonna release more shit over time and balance patch things. They're usually really good about that. They're gonna add in that PvE campaign content, and people are gonna be into it. You know, but I really like Gundam Evolution, and I think that people who are lapsed Overwatch fans, or if they're folks who are still hesitant about like being part of the Activision Blizzard ecosystem currently because of all the shit going on with that company, if people are uncomfortable with that, well, like, guess what? Gundam Evolution is just Overwatch, so play that.
I hope Gundam Evolution fucking crushes Overwatch because
it's
fuck
not,
Blizzard Activision.
There's no world where that happens.
I know it's not, but I can still hope. All right, let's move on to you know what? Let's move on to Grand Theft Auto 6 being stolen. That is the source code. And also I believe the source code for Grand Theft Auto 5 was stolen as well.
Yeah, from what we can tell, it's what the source code for 5, the source code so far for 6. A bunch of like clips and so on was released.
Let's real quick, Britt. Let me preface this with something, and then we're gonna move on to Britt.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Was it from the Slack channel, or did they actually did their studios get hacked? Because that's what I've been confused about. Is some people said that their Slack channel got hacked.
If their Slack channel got hacked, how would they lose the source code though?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was the actual like servers.
Okay. Well, that's why I was like, did the Slack code, did the Slack have that information available?
Well, I think what it was is they got through Slack, they got the information that they needed to get onto the employee servers.
That's what I wanted to know. Thanks.
So just a shout out to anyone out there who may be thinking about either doing something like this themselves or buying some of the stuff that you find that these people are trying to sell.
Oh, this lad done fucked up.
Just a quick shout out. As let's just say I know what I'm talking about with this kind of stuff when I say that you will go to federal fucking prison for a
don't do with this guy
very long time.
I love this got more attention than I thought it would. No shit, buddy.
That statement was one of the dumbest things I've ever read. So the guy that did this hack,
fucking stupid.
So
they found him, didn't they?
I don't know if they've specifically found.
They will. If they haven't, they will.
How long ago was this?
They're probably disappeared at this point. But basically, I don't know. There is a whole community around GTA 6 rumors that has existed for literally 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Over anything even vaguely reference, and these are a lot of people that aren't even into gaming all that much, so they don't know how to read some
Grand
of these.
Theft Auto 5 isn't
statements.
A game at this point. It's its own form of entertainment.
And so they run articles on nothing that then get millions of views and start getting talked about, if GTA 6 can even be tangentially related to them. This person leaking 90 minutes of footage and saying they have the source code was shocked that people cared that he made this claim.
So, refresh my memory, was GTA 6 announced yet? Had it even been
announced? It was announced there is a GTA 6 in development.
But there hasn't been
nothing.
No logo, no official details, nothing.
Fuck, man. That's
so I want to be very clear about this. If you spend money, it doesn't matter if you stole the shit or not. Even if you didn't steal it, if you purchase this stuff, you are knowingly receiving stolen property, stolen goods. You will also go to prison. for a very, very long fucking time. Video game source code, the shit ain't worth it, boys. I'm like, don't.
This was stupid. This was
do not
stupid.
fucking do this. Do not fucking do this.
This is really dumb. Like, it's been a while since we've had one like this. I mean, there was the big Nvidia leak a few years ago, but that was different because that was them accidentally posting something publicly that shouldn't have been posted. Like, this is like this on the level of the Half-Life 2 leak all those years ago.
Yeah.
Huge game. Tons of stuff being stolen from the studio by a hacker.
Yeah, I guess even the Capcom one's kind of different because, like, well, no, because with the Capcom stuff, all that most people cared about was like a list of games. But
yeah, I mean,
there was like workers' personal information in there.
Yeah, that was a lot of like business.
Yeah,
stuff.
Legally, it's probably a very similar situation.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm sure legally it is.
Never gonna see daylight.
But the public doesn't really care about a lot of the more sketchy stuff that was in the Capcom leak.
Yeah.
So there's something else behind this that I think we need to discuss. Well, two things really. One, this is by far, I think, the biggest game leak in the history of the industry, right? Like, we've never really seen anything
in an
like
extremely long time.
So
it's either that or Half-Life 2.
Yeah, Half-Life 2 is another big one for the
It
time,
hit at like 2 a.m. my time, and I just remember thinking, like, this is fucking insane. Like, there has never been a leak this big. Because like you guys have said, like, I didn't even know that it had been announced. I didn't even know that like, I figured obviously that they would, but just the fact that and I want to preface this by saying that I don't stan corporations. This podcast doesn't stan corporations whatsoever.
Yeah, we are not friends of companies, but
however, it is really shitty that, you know, people are seeing an unfinished product and making judgments based on it.
That was my next point.
Yeah.
And two, it sucks for the people that have fucking worked on this project and, you know, have put so much time into it, and not being able to be the ones to tell their story or to tell their work is just super fucking shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, you just never want to show stuff before it's like I mean, just think about working on something. Like, you never want to show it to people before it's done. And like, this is something that hits such a mainstream audience. And like, a lot of it was like animation tests and stuff like that. Like, stuff that people aren't used to seeing and don't know how to look at this point in development.
Right. And you know what else was... Go ahead.
No, Britt. No, Britt. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, you know what else is shitty? And then, like, I had to stop reading the shit is, like, people were legit mad that there was a female being presented as the main character.
Yeah.
And that really fucking pissed me off.
We got some of those details from a Bloomberg article, wasn't it? Right?
Yes,
a month or two ago?
Yeah, that was a ways back. This kind of confirmed all of those. Kind of confirmed
some of those details.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you saw some of the videos, you saw that there was a female character. And, you know, people were criticizing the way she looked, the fact that they were saying, I hope, you know, this isn't the character that we actually play. Like, you know, this game is ruined now because I have to play female. And it's just like, this is completely what is wrong with, you know, we have so many people in the games industry that are like
Grand Theft Auto.
Right, that are like, you know, stop putting, you know, black people in games, stop putting people of color in games, stop putting, you know, women as main characters, stop forcing all this down our throat. And it's like, men primarily dominate the space in the gaming industry as far as like main characters go, and like, there has been a male main character for the entire series of GTA. You know, a lot, you know, women were presented the primary goal or primary role in GTA games was hookers, right? Like,
to beat them up and take their money.
Beat them up, take their money.
Yeah,
exactly.
What's funny is, like, again, according to the Bloomberg article, like, it sounds like she's one of a pair. It's a Bonnie and Clyde situation. It's a man and a woman that you're playing as. So, right. like it's not even that it's a women led.
This would happen. They
right.
knew
There was actually a very popular YouTube channel for Red Dead Redemption, and the whole channel was just him hog tying women and laying them on train tracks.
God, I remember that fucking weirdo.
Like
Jesus.
that was the whole fucking
what is
channel.
wrong with people?
Whole channel.
But,
that was the whole fucking channel.
Well,
so
and another aspect of this is you know, I do agree with, like, I've seen a lot of gaming press types, especially kind of more like hardcore journalists come out and be like, look, man, you know, this, like, leaks suck, but like it's not the job of people or of journalists to what's the words I'm looking for here? Like, to play PR for press.
Right.
No, of course not.
Not PR for press, PR for these companies. And I do agree with that to a point. I think this isn't necessarily 100% the time to make that point, because again, this is like a leak with the intent of extorting and blackmailing, like, for payment.
That's the
so
thing.
It's not the same. But
this guy's in a fucking internet freedom fighter, right? Like, he's trying to hold them to ransom.
I think this would be shitty if, like, IGN or Kotaku or anybody, like, put all this out there too, right? Because it does suck to have all this stuff shown way too early. Like, I do agree that it is not the job of the press to be, if anything, isn't that what a lot of people's biggest complaint about gaming press is that they are, or supposedly are, too close to just being an extension of PR and marketing. I think, so you want them to be able to say, here's things that are not announced yet. Here's stuff that is coming. Here's stuff we know about. But there is, I think, a difference between saying things that, having the right to say things and report on things that the companies do not want you to say is not the same as just throwing everything you got out there for attention.
Well, and I think there's a major distinction between whether you're talking about Rockstar as a corporate entity and Rockstar as the individual developers that are working on a project. And I think that's a very important, like, line to keep in mind.
It's both of those things.
Because, yeah, and like, you know, Rockstar, the corporate entity, I think, is overly secretive when it comes to what they're working on. It is like overly stingy with what they show from their stuff. They only show the most polished footage of their games at a fairly late stage in development, but like, for the developers, the individual people that are working on this stuff, like, it just sucks to have your work out there before it's ready to be shown. It sucks to have it just, like, taken out there and then also used to extort your company. They're probably also going to have to now deal with stricter restrictions on stuff like work from home. QA is probably going to have to be under lock and key. There's probably going to be more security stuff that then they have to deal with on their day-to-day work. Like, you know, all that stuff sucks.
Yeah.
There's another issue here, in that ever since this happened, I've seen a lot of discourse online about how, this is it. Like, leaker discourse sucks. We got to stop the leakers. We got to stop the leakers, right? So, and I want to clarify something here.
Depends on the leak, right?
But here's the thing. This podcast is friends with a small handful of leakers who actually, like, have legitimate insider contacts
types,
right? Like they don't always get everything right, but these guys generally know what they're talking about. Saying that, there's a new, It Takes Two is being announced for Switch. I heard this from an inside source. Blah 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 blah. That's a leak. This is not a leak. This is corporate theft. This is theft, is what this is. This is not a fucking leak. It's extortion. Exactly. This is a crime that is being committed here. It's not a leak.
And look, sometimes crimes are cool. I'm willing to say that on this podcast live. Sometimes crimes are cool.
Absolutely.
Be gay, do crimes, but this is a shitty crime.
When you're holding people who have done you no harm for ransom, that's bad.
You
should never fucking do that.
And also, these are also, like, releasing the stuff publicly.
Go rob a bank
is pretty much also always done to damage whatever the product is. Like, it's not done because, like, you're like, oh, this is really cool, I want to show it to people. Almost all of these people,
but if this dude had no clue that a GTA 6 leak was gonna get this much attention, do you think it's somebody who even really knows much about gaming?
I mean, that's the thing. There's probably a whole
maybe not
there.
actually. Yeah,
there's probably a whole story there. I mean, hackers also sometimes claim things that aren't true. Like, I mean, I think there was somebody saying that he was claiming he was also the person that hacked Uber recently, which I doubt.
No.
But like, also, there's going to be a story behind this, just like there ended up being a huge story behind the Valve hacker from Half-Life 2. That whole saga was wild once that whole story came out.
Well, there's something else too that I've been seeing a lot of, and it was touched on briefly earlier in this conversation, but it's a lot of people saying, "Man, I can't believe Grand Theft Auto 6 looks like shit. This game looks like it's holy fuck.
Yeah.
How is this?" Oh, and I'm like, dude, looking at this footage, and making a judgment call on the released game's visuals is like opening your fridge, looking at a package of raw chicken legs and saying, "Man, this fried chicken don't look good at all. Like, this fried chicken looks really terrible."
And also,
like,
as somebody
it's not even cooked yet. Like,
also, as somebody who has seen a lot of footage of games at various forms of development, I gotta say this looked better than I would have expected.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad. That's what's crazy about it.
No,
like, people act like
it's like no, this game, we know this game's far off, and like, it's clear a lot of work has been done on it already.
Yeah.
It still has a lot to go.
Mostly Brit, let's face it, mostly a lot of insults are mad that one of the player characters has tits.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
But
and
like, I think part of this, and this is like, I again saw several good like media folks talking about, like, people react this way often, like, because people don't get to see behind the curtain very often, right? And that's not an excuse for like people being shitty, but people don't know that games, I mean, people genuinely think that you just tighten up the graphics on level 3, right? Like,
I can't believe we get paid to do this.
That's the level of how little understanding there is from your average gamer to how the sausage gets made.
Derek,
and
that's such a I just want to point out, Derek,
Derek,
that's such a good Collins College reference. That's so powerful.
Yeah. Well, anytime, right?
I have been glad though to see so many developers like kind of in solidarity with Rockstar going and showing what games looked like at various points in development.
And I love that. And I hope we continue to see, because I think it's very good for the general public, for hobbyists and enthusiasts, to see how messy game development is, how weird shit can look behind the scenes, because it's just better for you to be respectful of the work that goes into this. But also, if you really care about video games, if you are really passionate about this art form, then you should be interested in the process of creating them, right? I remember being, I'm a huge movie fan. Like, I'm a fucking film buff too, right? And I remember being a kid and watching like the special features on like the extended versions of Lord of the Rings and seeing all of the, how they got Gandalf to look taller than the hobbits and stuff like that, having him walk along the track.
That shit is so cool. I know.
It's cool. Like, and seeing how messy some of this stuff looks. I think it's interesting to see set photos of movies, because people always think they look like shit.
I don't want to derail from the conversation, but how do they make Gandalf look taller than the hobbits?
He's literally walking on a wooden track that you cannot see. So he's like a foot or two higher off the ground than everyone else, because they just built a track for the area he's supposed to walk along in that shot. It's really fucking cool.
I think you just destroyed Brittany's brain meats.
He's just
I'm trying to think about it. I'm like, so did they like paint it green and like CGI it out?
Because the many of those shots where they did that are not, you don't see the feet. Now, there's some other special effects work in some of the shots where you do see all of them, but most camera shots in Lord of the Rings do not show everybody in like a wide shot.
Right.
So
Gimli's
easy to
a
use
good example of that
perspective. But yeah, so like, and it's the same thing for games, right? It's so cool, I think, to see and know this stuff. And I think most gamers, even the like shitty capital G gamers that we like to make fun of, would find this stuff
make fun of those guys.
Educational and would be better served being educated by this.
And so, I think we need to kind of like, I mean, I've actually had a lot of fun like looking through some of the stuff, some of the stuff that people have been posting, because it's been some of my favorite games. Is a lot of them are been, gorgeous, really expertly made games by the time we play them, and like they looked like nothing. But like, yeah, like I'm somebody that actually
that was rough, and it was really cool.
The Horizon stuff was hilarious because it was just a Hellgast with a gun that they put in instead of Aloy.
I remember that.
Wait, I didn't hear about this. What happened?
Oh no, like they posted some really early test footage from Horizon, and it was like this really, really like low quality Thunderjaw with just a gray box and some really poor looking trees around.
It looked like there was no together some Duplo.
I thought you said Aloy had a gun, and I was like,
no. There was no character model for Aloy. It was just one of the Hellgast from Shadowfall with a gun from Killzone.
That's hilarious. That's fucking 10 out of 10. Love that.
And like, and I'm somebody that
done.
Like, I usually like will look up some of like the game developers conference presentations that are posted online after they go up every year, especially if like there's ones from developers or you know, or games
but
that
looks
I
at GDC
really like.
talks like,
but like
us
that
nerds,
stuff, like that sort of thing isn't readily available for a lot of people. Like, I mean, nobody really wants to dig through like all the specific programming that went into certain things, you know, that you see in a GDC talk. I get that. But like Derek was saying with like special features, you know, on movies, I would love to see something that's like kind of a more, I don't know if curated's the right word, but like just more kind of more guided way of like showing off some of the stuff and like
see more making of shit on YouTube, right? Like No Clip is a fantastic.
No Clip is really good. Danny O'Dwyer does good shit.
That's been so good at helping lift the veil, I think. But again, how many average ass people are looking up No Clip documentaries?
But also like, I mean, No Clip's actually usually pretty good about like with the footage and stuff. But like, there's that 2-hour like Raising Kratos documentary that's really great about the making of God of War 2018.
Ooh,
but even that was kind of more focused on stories from the developers that instead of showing like early footage. I mean, there was some stuff, and there was the whole bit about Shuhei Yoshida coming in and hating what they had at one point. And so like stuff like that's cool, but that still was also very focused on just the developers themselves instead of like, hey, this is what our work looks like before it's done.
And you know what? The sad thing about all this is that it probably delayed the game a full year.
I don't know how that makes sense. I've seen people say that. Maybe it's just you saying it a lot. But I swear I've seen like multiple people say that. Why would this have any impact on? They didn't lose work.
They did release a statement saying they don't anticipate it to change anything, but I think it depends on how bad the leak is because they might have to change stuff just for security reasons.
Yeah, I guess I can see
that.
Yeah, I
just see that having more to do with the like. I don't see that having a lot to do with the game development, more had to do with like security infrastructure.
It slows things down because of the security, like the threat to the infrastructure. Like, okay, how the fuck did this happen? And now we've got to divert resources to ensuring that this does not happen again. Because if it happened once, it can happen.
Well, and
again,
also
right?
if you got a lot of people working remote, I can see new procedures slowing down. Yeah,
so that's a big thing is that people brought up is the fact that it's like you just fucked the ability to work, like have developers work from home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, and that's why I brought up the whole Slack thing is because that plays an integral part in this whole scenario, because if they did get information through Slack and were able to get into Rockstar because of that, then like, you know, it's like we want work from home. We want people to be comfortable and working, and it's like when you do shit like this, you aren't necessarily hurting the company because the company is still going to make money off of GTA. This isn't going to harm GTA 6. People are still going to buy it. Even if people say, oh, I'm not going to buy it because there's a female character. No, it's still going to fucking sell great. Like, this isn't going to do anything to the numbers. What it's going to do is, based on how the situation played out, is it's going to hurt the people who worked on the game. Whether that be they have to go into the office now, whether that means, you know, you can't work from home anymore. Like, who knows if somebody's not working in state, like where Rockstar's at. Like, it's just the people who are going to be affected by this isn't Rockstar as a whole. Like most problems in the industry, it's going to affect the workers. And that's what's shitty. Like, that's why you don't want to do this shit, because you are not sticking it to the man when you're fucking releasing game footage,
You just
you're
fucking
hurting.
over.
Yeah, you're hurting the employees who work on these things. You know, and you're taking time away from working on the game to put up extra security and to have an investigation and figure out what went wrong. And it's just shitty. And that's why I said we don't stand corporations, but this is the shit that we do stand for, is like the mistreating of employees. And just, you know, it's just shitty. Like when this whole thing happened, I was like, this is so shitty for the people working, because this is like, you know, this is the weekend, you know, they're working. They're going to come in Monday morning and they're not going to know what the fuck is going to change and what's going to happen, and they're coming into chaos, and that's just shitty. It's not fair.
No, it's like, imagine waking up on Sunday and then having to see like all your work is just out there.
Yep.
And then
my company's been hit by ransomware hacks. Like I know. Yeah,
it's shitty. It's not
also,
cool.
Like a lot of leaks end up getting tracked back to QA, which is part of the reason the whole industry is like really, really harsh on QA. Is there's this whole perception that QA is a dangerous group to get their hands on the game. Like I think the Last of Us Part 2 leaks, which were pretty major for the story, were related to QA and stuff.
Maybe if QAs were like treated better and kept as like internal employees, they wouldn't feel so much like rogue agents who were just going to get tossed aside, and they might as well get something out of it.
Exactly.
Like that's not the right attitude to have. But can you blame folks?
But I mean, what I was trying to say is like, again, that's just another excuse they'll use to keep mistreating that division.
So John, you pulled a fin. Raised your hand.
Yeah. So I have a question for you guys, and I want to ask it before I forget about it. I've been meaning to ask it all episode, so I'm diverting a little bit away from Grand Theft Auto. I have to ask, what the fuck is Trombone Champ?
Oh my god! Have you shit? Not?
I just saw it past my Twitter feed twice today, and I'm like, what the fuck? So here's the thing, Derek.
You've seen one video, right?
Yes. So
then
I saw
that's all you need.
That's all you need to know.
I was at work today. I was at work today.
Either random trombone noises are your shit or they're not. Like that's basically what Trombone Champ is.
I was in my office today and I had my door open and I saw it pass my Twitter feed and I was like, what the fuck is this? So I turned the sound on, not realizing that I had unplugged my headset. Well, no, I didn't realize that I had unplugged my headset from the desktop tower. And so throughout like the floor, it was like, and I was like, I'm like scrambling around trying to find my headphones. I was laughing for like a good 5 fucking minutes at those sounds.
That's That's Trombone Champ. That's all you need to know.
Like what is this on Steam? Is this what is that what this is? Like, I have to fucking download this when my son comes tomorrow. I have to.
Oh yeah.
I have to download Trombone Champ because he's a trumpet player.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he plays trumpet in the band.
You should stream it. You should stream you guys playing it together.
Oh, that's a really good fucking idea, Britt. That's so
apparently works
good.
well on Steam Deck.
It looks like what it looks like is a really terrible looking theater rhythm with trombones.
Yep, sure. That's exactly it.
Yep.
And the songs are like Camptown Races and shit.
Is the Me orchestra game? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. It is, and you know what? Apparently, this thing, I'm looking at it now. This thing is like rocketing to the top of the Steam charts.
Oh, absolutely!
Sure. It's hilarious.
Are you kidding me?
What does it cost?
It's like $5. I think.
Yeah, $5 to get in on that stupid action. Yeah.
Like this
is an easy pull.
Glorious. This would you're right. This
memes sell games, man. Memes sell games, but it's got to be natural. You can't force it.
Right.
This was brilliant.
Such a great fucking.
Oh, it's $14.99, so it's $15.
I thought it was
that's
$5.
A bit much.
I mean, I don't know if I'd pay $15 for this, but
then you committed to it with Jaden. Okay, so I have a topic to end off, if you guys don't mind.
What's your topic, Brett?
A quick discussion.
Sure.
So we have a meaty fall/winter, right?
Yeah.
Meaty,
like a lot of games coming out. We got God of War, we got Pokemon, we got Crisis Core.
Let me pull up a list.
Meaty
right,
lives.
we got some meaty games coming. What are your guys' most anticipated games? And what do you think your favorite game is going to end up being?
Well, as far as most anticipated goes, I got a couple. Tactics Ogre Reborn, Crisis Core.
Yes.
Obviously Crisis Core. Pokemon Violet.
Wait, okay. Who, Justin? You're not getting Pokemon, right?
No.
You haven't played a Pokemon game in
not a long time. Well, I did play it at Extra Life last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like we have to commit to Pokemon from now on just because of Extra Life. But what? So Derek, you're getting Pokemon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Scarlet or Violet?
Fucking Scarlet.
Right, because of teeth. Fangs.
What?
The main character in Scarlet has fangs. Like it's a female and she has
fangs.
fangs.
The professor?
Professor. I thought you'd get Violet for Daddy, Professor.
I'm getting Violet because everybody's getting Scarlet.
I'm getting Violet because I want that legendary mech Pokemon.
Yeah. But so yeah, we got that coming out.
There's so many.
I'm gonna just go over.
God of War's coming out.
I'm gonna go over what's upcoming that I think is like big releases, right? And I'm still gonna leave a lot off of here. I am sure.
For me, I mean the big one's God of War Ragnarok. I'm so extremely excited for that game.
We've got Valkyrie Elysium end of September.
Right.
Through October, we have. Let's dig through here.
But another game I'm very excited for that I haven't really talked about much on the show is Plague Tale Requiem.
Yes, Plague Tale Requiem is going to be
the first Plague Tale.
Xbox, right?
It's on everything.
Is it? I thought it was Xbox. Is it?
It's not on Switch though, right? It's not on Switch.
I think it actually might have a cloud version on Switch.
Oh well, yeah. So it's not on Switch.
But the first Plague Tale was really, really good. It was a really big surprise for me. That game is grim in a way very few games are.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. And really neat, historical / fantasy setting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. It's coming out 2 weeks before God of War or something.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good few weeks.
I think God of War, Pokemon, and Plague Tale are probably the biggest non-Square Enix games. Maybe Gotham Knights. I think we're all cautious about Gotham Knights.
I'm really, really iffy about that one.
But I'm gonna give that an opportunity to do well. I'm not writing that off.
It's not my kind of game anyway.
Yeah.
I do want to check out Callisto Protocol as well.
Is that December?
That's next year.
December.
It is December.
January's Dead Space.
My.
Callisto Protocol.
I'm so excited.
Callisto Protocol is December?
Yes, December 2nd. Yeah.
I could have holy shit. I could have
So is Midnight Suns. I'm in trouble on December 2nd.
Dude, you're gonna
cool.
You're gonna prioritize Midnight Suns. Just admit it, dude.
I don't know, man, because Callisto Protocol looks good as fuck.
Yeah, but Callisto Protocol, that's the Dead Space looking game, right?
Yeah.
But it's it's the spiritual successor to Dead Space, and it comes out a month before the remake of Dead Space.
Very funny.
Hold on, Derek, aren't the Midnight Suns your favorite Marvel property?
No.
I thought it was.
Also, this is not a great adaptation of Midnight Suns as the Marvel comic, which is, a lot of more.
I mean, this is a very broad take.
Right, that's going to be
Suns.
Morbius and Doctor Strange and Werewolf by Night and shit like that. But Midnight Suns looks dope as fuck.
I mean,
Harvestella. I'm so excited for Harvestella.
Harvestella is going to be cool.
Square Enix is fucking us up with games this holiday season.
My 3 games are God of War, Harvestella, and of course Crisis Core. Zack Fair is one of my very favorite Final Fantasy characters, and I'm so excited that people get to experience this that didn't get to experience it on PS4.
This is more of a remake, I think, Britt.
This game is really good. It's really good. They're adding the new voice actors from Final Fantasy remake, which is good because Mina Savari as Aerith was terrible. But I'm so excited for people to experience this game because it is legit one of my favorites.
I'm excited. I never got I never got to play Crisis Core. I never had a PSP.
That's what I was about to ask you, Justin, because you loved the Final Fantasy
I love
remake.
Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, and I love the remake.
You're in for a treat.
I'm really excited. Like, I have been like, as soon as the remake came out, I was really hoping. I'm like, I wonder if there's an off chance that we get like a remaster of Crisis Core. And I knew there was a lot of licensing things that they had to get through, which is why it's been unavailable and stuff for so long. So I am excited to finally play Crisis Core.
I'm just happy that they finally worked out their licensing issues with Gacked.
Gacked.
We can have Crisis Core back.
Did they say that was never actually a real problem? That's just an urban legend?
No,
I'm pretty sure in an interview they said that was not. I'm like really certain I read.
No, it was a real thing. Like Gacked. So because no, the character Genesis was literally based on Gacked.
I swear to God, I read. Yes, there was an interview in July where they actually confirmed that urban legend is not true.
I don't believe that
was never the problem.
I don't believe that for a fucking second.
I think it's PR. They knew it was coming.
I think it's PR. I think it's fucking PR.
We'll see.
I think it's fucking PR. There's too much smoke around that fire.
Bayonetta 3 is late October.
That is late October.
That's gonna be
Bayonetta 3 and Call of Duty come out on the same day, and I just think that's a really funny like dichotomy of releases.
Those are not the same two audiences.
It's not a new game per se, but Resident Evil Village gets its third-person mode.
That also comes out on the same day.
Rose.
Yeah, the DLC.
Like, let's not forget.
Speaking of Resident Evil, Resident Evil Reverse comes out maybe. We got Valkyrie Elysium. We got Star Ocean.
Metroid Prime HD is going to be so bomb when it comes out.
Shut the fuck up.
This winter. It's going to be. I'm really looking forward to that.
What about Skull and Bones, everybody? Skull and Bones
really
from
Ubisoft.
Year?
Is that really coming out
November 8th?
It is.
Same day as Sonic Frontiers, a day before God of War Ragnarok.
All right. First of all, Sonic Frontiers looks bad. Second of all,
oh, they're coming for you.
When I don't, fuck it. I'm much bigger and stronger than any of them.
I think it looks fine. I have no strong opinions on Sonic.
A bunch of nerds. I will literally take on 10 of them at once.
Seriously, having no strong opinions on Sonic is like one of the most freeing things of being on the internet.
Right.
Like,
same.
I don't get. Like
I don't have strong opinions either way. It's amazing.
Dragon Quest Treasures is coming in December.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
I'm all over that, dude.
Yeah.
New Dragon Quest anything. I'm fucking all over that shit.
Hell yeah.
Really, I am excited about Super Lone Survivor.
I have no clue what that is.
Super Lone.
So that's Lone fall?
Yeah, it's on Halloween actually, October 31st. So Super Lone Survivor is a remake / sequel to Lone Survivor: The Director's Cut by Jasper Byrne, who it's essentially 2D Silent Hill.
I know the game.
And it's fucking.
Yeah, Lone Survivor is great.
Lone Survivor is fantastic, and so Super Lone Survivor has a ton of new content, and I am really looking forward to that. That's going to be fucking awesome. There's another game coming out. It was supposed to be coming out by the end of the year that you guys may not have heard of. It's an indie game. It's a turn-based RPG called Chain of Echoes. And I right now,
it's not a Kingdom Hearts game.
No, I recommend right now you look up Chain of Echoes on Google right now. It is a pixel-based 2D JRPG with mechs.
See, you got my attention a little bit there, didn't you?
Chained Echoes, not Chain of Echoes, Chained Echoes. Look up Chained Echoes right now. I'm going to bring it up myself. Chained Echoes was a Kickstarted game, and it's
mechs. It's some good doofy sprite-based Kickstarter.
You have mechs that you can climb into.
When does the new Theatrhythm come out?
Not till January. That comes out in January. Yeah. Chained Echoes is going to be fucking awesome. And yeah,
the sprite work is really good.
I love this.
And there are absolutely mechs in the game.
I believe you. I don't think you're lying to me.
I'm just trying to find a picture of one. Yeah, here we go, Derek. I'm going to link this in chat for you.
Usually, once the holiday is over, we have like a slow January and maybe one big release in February or something like that.
January and February this year are just
January and February are just fucking me up. This is video game bukkake.
we're also,
like it's just not ending.
We're also not at the point, because March is always this has to come out before the end of the fiscal year month.
Yeah,
we're not
March
even
is
on
always
those
rough,
dates
and
yet.
March is going to be fucking.
Derek, check out that link I just dropped in the Twitch
side
chat.
scroller now?
Check out that link I just dropped in the Twitch chat, Derek, and you'll see the fucking it's great. I can't fucking wait. That this game, and like Justin said, the sprite work is just fucking exquisite.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
So I would say Sea of Stars, but that got delayed.
I was gonna say, when does Sea of Stars come out?
It comes out next year now.
Yeah, but like when?
I'm not sure. All they said was that it's delayed to 2023.
I'm a backer on that game. You know why I'm a backer of that game?
Because the messenger rules.
No.
And it's an RPG.
The person who does the music is the same person who did the music for Chrono Cross.
Okay, I didn't know that, Britt. You're like the world's ultimate Chrono Cross fan. I don't know these things.
That's why
I don't know these things. But yes,
Sea of as the RPG dad.
Well, look, I can't be everywhere at once. I'm not omnipotent as much as I would like to be.
I'm fucking glad you're not.
Right?
If you were, I'd only torture you with that fact.
I'm actually more omnipotent than you think I am, though.
Yeah? Look at my search history right now.
I can tomorrow. but I mean, I can't do it on a whim, but yeah, no. So there are definitely a ton, just a metric fuck ton of games coming out this fall. Like it's madness. I'm just so shit.
So what are you excited for, and what do you think is going to end up being like your fucking favorite? Your
I mean,
go
either Tactics Ogre or Crisis Core. Easy. It's not even close.
Derek, what about you?
Come back to me. I really need to think on that.
Mine's going to be God of War or Crisis Core. It's going to be God of War.
Mine's probably going to be God of War.
It probably is going to be God of War, but I want to leave it open for. Well, I don't believe that Plague Tale Requiem is going to be God of War at its own game of being like a big serious story that gets me super roped in. I think I'm going to enjoy both of them greatly. It's going to be God of War or, look, I'm going to give Harvestella the wild card.
Yeah, me too.
You don't know, man. That could really turn out to be some wild shit. Like, that could be addictive.
I've heard a lot of really positive things about the demo. I'm not sure if it's going to be my thing, but like, I think that game's going to find an audience.
So and I want to point something out about Square Enix. One more thing before we start logging off here.
Square Enix can take a break all next year. It's fine. You've made enough games.
They can't because Final Fantasy.
No, because we got Forspoken and Final Fantasy. After those two,
you shut your fucking mouth there.
After Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16. Dragon Quest Monsters. You got to give me a new Dragon Quest Monsters.
Yeah, Derek, just stop. They don't get to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I need more Final Fantasy 14 content.
Give them Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters on Switch, so we'll shut the fuck up.
So I'll just shut the fuck up.
Then take a break.
But so from the Diofield Chronicle to Harvestella to the new Octopath Traveler. No. The artwork bullshit that Square is on this year is fucking insane. Like
shout out to Square for doing so many original IPs.
Those Mission remakes.
How many games are they releasing in the next few months?
The artwork for the Live Alive remake, like the artwork. Like go into the Harvestella menu and just look at the character artwork. Like the character artwork for the Derek, the portraits for the Diofield Chronicle are fucking.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like
beautiful
wispy in your eyes. Like
it's that beautiful wispy androgyny like fantasy art. It's incredible.
Is that
a thing you do on Thanksgiving? Rub butter in your eyes?
No, I'm just making
okay.
I mean, I rub butter on a turkey, so
that's true.
But it is the art. Like Square has been pouring so much effort into the artwork for their games. And it really fucking shows. Like I just it's so fucking good. I just wanted to point that out.
I have one question for Justin before we sign off.
Sure.
Do you think which one do you think you're going to end up liking better, Horizon or God of War?
That I don't know.
That's what I'm at right now. I'm like, I don't know which. Look. My wife.
It's kind of hard to explain. Like Horizon, I think is just something that I find very pleasant to be in the world of in a way that's very different from other games. Like, I just like kind of existing in it. But I've been a big fan of the God of War games for a long time, and I really loved what they did with 2018. Like,
I'm a new God of War fan. 2018 God of War turned me into a God of War fan.
Same.
So
Same.
that's where I'm like, I don't know which. I love Horizon, but I fucking love God of War.
yeah, no, it's like it's gonna be bad for me when it comes time to choose.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be bad when it comes time.
And
to
we
choose
just
'cause I love
say
those series so much.
that our last show of the year, our 2020 game of the year or whatever January show is gonna be intense. I think it's gonna be the most intense show that we've had since I've been on.
We're gonna yell at each other.
Speaking of intense shows, we've got October 22nd coming up real soon.
That's true. Yo, let's take a quick moment to shout out the charity stream coming up.
I'm so fucking excited.
Do we have like
that-
a fun little name for it yet?
I had a couple, but
Toss me
they're
your
both
names, dude. Let's hear
stupid.
them.
One of them was the SDGC extra large charity stream, because it's not Extra Life. It's our extra large charity stream.
I like that.
And then
Yeah,
the other one was Super Lux Games Cast does games for charity, otherwise known as SDGC DGC. Otherwise known as SDGC.
What about an evening with Texas Pete?
No.
No.
The Texas Pete Memorial Fundraiser.
The Texas Pete.
That's
dude.
it.
The 2022. The annual
I think it's
Texas Pete
officially the
Memorial
Texas
Stream.
Pete Memorial
Featuring-
Fundraiser.
Featuring such characters as peas and
As
noodles.
peas. Noodle.
Please.
And
Calcium.
Slug my balls.
Slug my
I
balls.
forgot about calcium. So we agreed that it has to be the Texas
calcium.
Pete Memorial Stream, right?
I think it does have to be the Texas Pete Memorial Fundraiser, yes.
I want
but
to
we're-
put a
we're
bottle
gonna
of
do-
Texas Pete in a
we're
little
gonna do
coffin and put him
two
in front of this.
separate 12-hour roughly fundraising streams on a Friday and Saturday, and we're going to raise money for the plan is to do it for the National Network of Abortion Funds. I do need to double check and see if that is still the best possible place we could be putting that money. But it's one way or another, it's going to go towards abortion funds, because I don't, it's fucking good ass cause.
Also, we need milestone like things that we can do.
Yeah, give
So
us ideas for dumb shit.
If you all have any ideas of like just shit that we can do, either message us or just go into the podcast chat in the Discord, which I'm going to plug right now.
Yeah,
Should I
Discord. Get that
post
Discord
the
plug in
wheel?
there. Post the
Josh,
wheel.
Yeah, the wheel.
Yeah, so we have a wheel of games that we're gonna play.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
We should
let's
post
go
the
ahead
wheel.
and
We
give
should
people
should
a
post the wheel.
taste of the fucking insanity
give
that
a
is
taste,
coming.
Derek.
We're going to
Give 'em a
spin
taste. That's
wheels
the
to
taste.
decide what games we're going to play, and most of those are excellent 4-player games, and a couple of them. Well, one of them is Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey '98. And I don't know if that game's good or not.
I just spun the wheel. Let's see what I get.
Yeah, and one of those games is Battle Tanks 2, which is bad.
I got Gang Beasts, whatever the fuck
Gang
that
Beasts
is.
rules.
Oh my god, so good. Okay, did you add Bomberman though?
Oh, I could put a Bomberman game. on there.
Bomberman's
That's a
really
call.
good.
Duck
That's a good
Game.
call. Duck Game is also very good.
The fuck, Derek?
Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing
Take
is on there.
fucking Overcooked off of there.
No.
No.
We do not play fucking
Absolutely
Overcooked.
not.
Legally, I'm obligated to have Overcooked 2 on that
No.
list, John.
No. You will sleep in the fucking garage. Like,
You don't have to be one of the 4 playing it. There's
Look,
going to
I'm
be
just-
7 of us to do this.
Yes, so
Oh.
that's kind of the other exciting thing about this. We've been doing the charity streams annually for a while. It went from just being a thing that mostly John and Derek headed up every year to last year we got a bunch of us in one place, and then this year is actually the first time all of us are going to be in the same room at one time. And so we're all really excited for this.
So us
for
plus
that.
Jeff and Finn and CJ. John,
So-
what's up?
Sunlight Scrub in chat says John takes a shot of Pilk for every $500. What the fuck is Pilk?
So you know Pepsi?
Yeah, I'm aware of Pepsi.
No, I don't like where this is going.
No. Fuck no. Fuck no.
That's a clip-worthy moment. Can we just get a clip of John coming to the realization of what that means?
No. I'm
So
not
you
fucking
know
doing
Pepsi.
it. I'm not fucking doing it. I will not fucking do it. No. Absolutely fucking not.
Oh.
What the fuck? Why is that a thing? And why do you know that? Why do you know that?
John, there are very few things that are mentioned on the internet that I don't know about.
That's not a good thing, Justin. That's not a good thing.
I know. That's why I'm a barely.
Why do you
functioning
think he's
human being.
mentally ill?
So you know Pepsi?
Are you aware of Garfield, John? Are you aware? Like, like that's all Justin had to say though, and like it took a minute for my reptilian brain to like plug the two together. But the moment I did, like, no. Although I have to know, what's the fucking ratio? What is the milk to Pepsi ratio we're talking about?
Well, I mean, that varies. There are many recipes
Look,
of milk.
Going by the name, I would do 25% Pepsi, 75% milk.
Honestly,
I think that's only
just
fair.
Pilk, I would have assumed, like, given our fucking Discord, I would have just assumed it was piss and milk. like, let's face it. Let's face it. Like, that would have been the logical fucking conclusion. Like anybody in our chat talking
y'all
about
are going to
Pilk,
give
I'm like,
people
so
the
piss and
idea that
milk.
we run a weird fetish Discord, and
That's fine. I'm okay.
That's whatever. That's fine. We don't.
we don't kink shame though.
We don't.
We don't kink shame.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Pillknock, don't you even fucking no. I am not the one who started this shit.
Anyway,
I am not the one who started this shit. Absolutely fucking not. So you know, piss. All right, Derek, take us the fuck out of here, man, before shit gets weirder.
I can't promise you that. Just remember,
All
folks, kindness costs nothing.
It costs absolutely nothing.
Take care, everybody.
So does piss.